Hello everyone. Alright, so today we are going to make the Sketchup, basically video for you to know how to make your picture frame. It's quite simple, but there are a few steps to it. You will need two things by the end of this little video that I'm making for your assignment. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need to know how large is the item that you're going to be framing. So that's like the very first thing. If your item is 5x7, then great. You can then make your frame to go around your 5x7. Second thing you're going to need, I did say two things, but actually it's three. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to need a drawing. You're going to quickly draw what your frame is going to be like. I know that you're making it in SketchUp, but I also want you to draw it on paper because this is a valuable ability. And so you need to be able to show us that they're 45 degrees. You need to be able to show us how long it is, how big your opening is, and I want you to dimension it and show us, in fact, how large it is. Now, this picture shows you the side view of the little boards that we're going to use, and it gives you a little cutout, and I want you to do that as well and show you each one of these. I'll do that at the end and just sort of hold it up again for you to see, but for now, let's get to SketchUp. Now, I'm going to change my screen because I know how to do this. There we go. Cool. And I can move this somehow. Oh yes, just like that. Put it over there. Okay. Oh, not that. Click. Click. I don't know why this is fuzzy. It is always fuzzy. It's just, I am using HDMI, but for some reason it still isn't a good quality picture. I'm very sorry. So here we go, SketchUp. SketchUp, once you start writing it, it does show up. You don't really need to go to SketchUp free, you can just use SketchUp. It is owned by Google. It is completely free. Now you go down here to SketchUp free. So you can see where my mouse is. I know it's hard to see. Click. Now you're going to go to Start Modeling. Now for me, I already have an account that I've set up with my Google email. If you, of course, have never used SketchUp before, you will have to put your email in there, and it is totally safe. It's just another extension of your Google email. So here we go, Start Modeling. So like I said, if you haven't done this before, you'll have to input your email at this point. If you have, it's going to start loading. The old Google SketchUp, if you're used to using it, is a red emblem, and now it's blue. Now we're going to go to right here, Create New, and we are going to choose feet and inches. Because we're using wood now, we do want to make sure that everything is in feet and inches, because that's how wood is sold. Click on it. All right, now we see this lady standing here. She is basically two-dimensional, but it's kind of hard to go around her because she keeps facing you. But anyway, she's unimportant, really. You do sometimes like to have her in the picture, though, because if you're building a house, you can see how big the house is compared to her. And in our case, a picture frame is something that's relatively small. So you're going to zoom in using your mouse. You're going to use your finger and just roll in and out. So you can practice doing that now with your wheel on your mouse. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to sort of mess around with a few different things just so you can figure out how the options work. First off, orbit. Orbit is either accessed by using the letter O on your keyboard. So you basically just press O and then it switches to orbit. When you're on orbit, you can press with your left mouse button, and then you can kind of roll around and you can see under things, you can see over things, and just move them around. If you need to, you can like click and roll every time, and that will allow you to roll around as well. Now this, I'm going to go to just the pointer so it makes it easier for you to see what I'm pointing at. This is also a selector. This right here, we talked about this in class, is referred to as origin. And so blue is your origin. It's your Z or your Z if you're from Canada. So Z is your up and down. Then you've got your green and your red, which are basically your X or your Y axes. Origin refers to the fact that everything is going to meet at that one point where the blue, the green, and the red come together, and that is going to be 0, 0, 0. So 0z, this would be +1, +2, +3z going up, and this would be -2, -3, minus whatever z going down. So like I said, everything is 0. So right now I'm going to make my picture frame, and I want to make it a rectangle, which is what we're going to do. You can do a rectangle or a square. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool right here. It gives you the ability to do a few different things. You can make circles, you can make polygons, which is multiple-sided shapes, so like hexagons and octagons, that sort of thing. And then you also have a text tool here, so you can do 3D text. For our purposes, we are only going to use the rectangle tool at this particular moment in time. So I'm going to click on that. Now I go over here. You can start right at the origin if you want, and you'll notice that your pen, as you go down, it snaps to that point. So you see how that little gray or black dot with a little dot in the middle arrives. And so if you want, you can do that. You can basically create your origin that way. Now the interesting thing about this, I'm just going to back up, is that when you click on it, so wherever you want to make your rectangle, you want to click, and when I mean click, I mean you want to press the button and let go right away. So click, and my finger is off the button, but it's still pulling out. Now the thing that's really hard for people to do sometimes is to not keep their finger depressed on the mouse. But you don't want to keep your finger depressed on the mouse because you're going to need it now to type in the size that you want. So let's say, for example, I already drew my picture, and I know that what I want to frame is, I'm going to do a tiny one. I'm going to say 3 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so if it's 3 inches by 5 inches, I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to look at my dimensions. I can't really get 3 by 5 very easily. See how many other fractions there are in there? So all I need to do is actually type 3 inches, comma, space, 5 inches. And then I just hit enter. And that, my friends, is actually 3 by 5 inches. I mentioned a minute ago that there was another way to access the orbit, and thank you to one of the students, I can't remember who it was. You're listening to this and you're like, it was me, who told me that you actually use your mouse button, the rolling mouse button, and you press that, and it totally works. So no matter what function you're in, press the rolling mouse button, and then it goes into orbit, which is wonderful. All right, so now, like I said, I've got 3 inches by 5 inches, and if I wanted to check that, I can go down to here, and there's a little tape measure function. So click on your tape measure, go to this little dot, press the button, do not hold it, go up to the other corner, and then look down on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and it says length 5 inches. Then hit escape. You can then check this one if you want, top to bottom. Again, go look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and it does say 3 inches. I can hit escape again. So now what I'm going to do is I need to make so this is where my picture is, but now I want my frame on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to go to my push-pull function, looks like this, click on it. Then I'm going to go to this function, which is the offset function. When I click on that, and then I click on basically the edge, sorry I messed up there, you click on the edge of this item, it will give me the ability to offset or to pull away or pull in to be able to give me my frame size. So for me right now, I want to offset by, I don't know, I'm thinking 3 inches would be really nice. So I'm just going to pull this out, and I can go as far as I want. Again, all I do is type in 3 inches, enter, and there we go. So again, remember, this little picture is 3 inches, this is 5 inches, so actually this 3 inches, this is 3 inches. So now that I'm looking at this, I'm going, wow, that is actually too much. Let's make that a little bit less. So I'm going to do offset again, and I'm going to go edge, And I'm going to go out and, I don't know, I think I'm going to do, let's try 2 inches. See how that looks. Enter. That looks better. I like that. Okay, so now I am going to go over here to my push-pull function again. So I'm going to hit offset, and then I get push-pull. You can get to push-pull by pressing P. And for now, though, I'm going to go right into this toolbox and use push-pull. What I'm going to do here is I want to figure out how thick I want my frame. So let me just go to orbit really quick, and I will show you. This thing has no depth whatsoever. Okay, it's basically 2-dimensional. I need to make it 3-dimensional. So if I go to my push-pull, grab on here, and then I can raise it. I can make my frame as thick as I want or as thin as I want. But I have to keep in mind that I am going to use some plexiglass as the cover for the frame, or a cover for my picture, pardon me. And that is going to require a little bit of room. I'm also going to have to have a little bit of space for my picture and kind of recess and inset all that. So I think I'm going to give it, let's say, 1 inch of depth. Now let's go a little bit less. I'll go 7/8. 7/8 inch. Cool. Now I'll hit orbit O, and I'm going to move around. All right, well, this looks all right. Now what I want to do is my little picture is this size exactly. So I need it to not be exact. I need it actually to be smaller than my picture so that my picture can like drop in. So I'm going to offset it by 1/4 inch. So I go to my offset again, offset. I'm going to click this inside line, this inside edge, and I'm going to offset, see, like that. And I'm going to go by I think 1/4 inch is perfect. So 4 inches, perfect. Now I'm going to use my push-pull again. Where am I? Push-pull, and I'm going to drag this. Oh, that didn't work. Escape, and push-pull right here, and I'm going to bring this up. I think I can bring it up, maybe, let's say, I don't know. I could do 1/4. Yeah, 1/4 might work just fine. I like it. Actually, I'm going to go 5/16 just for kicks. 5/16, which is a little more than 1/4. All right, now let's do orbit again. Orbitano. So now you can see that I've got from the back here. This is the back. You could drop in your picture, and then you could drop in another piece of wood that you'll require, or a piece of, like, you drop in your plexiglass, then you drop in your picture, and then you'd put like a piece of cardboard or whatever on the back, and then you'd stick these staples in, dunk, 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 all the way along to basically hold your picture in. So if I flip this over, though, flip it over, orbit time, you'll notice, Mr. Spears, this does not look right. And it doesn't look right because this didn't push-pull. It push-pulled from the bottom, but it didn't give me a base. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my little pencil, and I'm going to go from the corner right up to the corner. I'm going to go escape. I'm going to go corner to corner, and then I hit escape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my pointer selector again. I'm going to click on the middle, and I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to click on all these lines. Ooh, not that one. You can always hit the back button right here when you mess up, and it will take away what you just did. I should have music while I'm doing this for you guys, or for me. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm going to want to put a couple more things in here. So let's flip it around. So you see I got my glass that can go in there, my picture that can go in there. I can put that little piece of cardboard. I can put the pins in. But actually, Mr. Spears, I thought we were doing miter cuts. And a miter cut is, in our case, it's a 45-degree cut. You are right. So I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm going to draw these miters in. And back up right to there. Escape. And you notice when I'm doing my drawing, it snaps to that spot. which is so nice. It goes right to that middle point. There isn't a whole lot of messing around that I have to do. Orbit. And now I'm going to draw the miters on this side. L for line. And okay, hit orbit. Here we go. And there you have your miter box picture frame. I haven't done any dimensions, and I also haven't done the splines. I mentioned splines in the last class. The splines, I'll show you. I'm going to do a spline right here. Spline is basically kind of a funky wood piece that we put in the corner of our frame to make it nice and strong. So I'm going to go right here and grab my pen again. And if I go to the middle of any line, it'll snap to a blue circle. And that blue circle is the midpoint. In fact, it says the word midpoint. So I'm going to click on there, and then I'm going to go this direction. And I think I'm going to make my splines, I don't know, let's make them, yeah, I'll make them 1 inch. That's totally fine. So 1, enter, and then I'll hit escape, go to here, and I'll go 1 again, 1 inch, escape. And then I'm going to make these splines, I'm going to make them a quarter. I might make them a quarter. So that means that each one is going to be 1/8. So I go to here, 1/8, to here, 1/8. Now, some of you are wondering, I thought you said a quarter. How come you're making it 1/8? Well, because I want my spline to be in the middle of this corner, and I want it to be 1/4. So I went to the middle, and then I went 1/8 up, 1/8 down, which of course adds up to 1/4. Then I can go to my selector again, and I can delete this. And kind of a neat thing, if you wanted to do this, is you can click on this, and you can paint. You can paint these different colors. You can make things a different color. I believe your paint is. So I can choose different materials. I can make it like brick, or I can make it wood, or I can make it all sorts of different things. But I'll let you guys play around with this. Here we go. There's some colors. Let's get rid of that. So I don't know. I'll just do this. It's purple. Orbit. Oh nope, I don't want that. Erase. Orbit. Okay, so there you go. So there's my spline. That's kind of funky. There is actually a purple wood. It's called Purple Heart, and it's beautiful, and I do have some. I may even do that. If you guys really want to do purple splines, I will crack out the Purple Heart. Okay, let's get our line again. Let me go to there. I'm going to go 1 inch, 1 inch, enter, and escape, 1 inch. Then I'm going to go up 1/8. And I'm going to do this all the way around. I don't actually need to redraw this every time. There's actually a way where you can copy it and then you can move it around to the other side. But just so as not to confuse anybody, I'll just show you how you draw it each time here. Okay, and then orbit, and I move around, and I'm just about done, except for, of course, my dimensioning, which I'll explain how that works in just a moment. So if you want to fast forward this while I draw this in, you are more than welcome to, because it's kind of annoying to watch, maybe. Almost done. Almost done. that yet. Get rid of that, and make this purple and orbit. Okay, now I want to put my the hanger on the back because I'm going to have to hang my picture obviously when I'm done. So I'm going to go to the back side, and you know the back side is this side because this is the side the picture and the plastic would go into. What you're also going to want to do is you're going to want to list the size of the plastic that you require of acrylic, because you will have to cut that and then drop it in when you do your piece. So right here, I want to make my little spot where I'm going to hang this bad boy. And so what that means is I want to find center. So I take my pencil, I go along here, and look, it snaps. So take and draw a line from midpoint to midpoint. Don't worry, you're going to take this line out later.